Okay,
Yeah, I'd be all up for some 20.99 pops.
oh yeah,
Ravage.
I'd be fucking down.
Yeah.
I'd be fucking down.
With the Ravage.
I mean, I'd love to see a like, um, what are the slightly larger pops? 5 inches, 6 inches?
6 inch, the supersized pops.
I'd love to see a 6 inch Hulk 2099.
Oh yeah,
like,
he would look really cool.
He's way more beast looking. Like he's got 4 fingers, but it's like here, 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 and here. He's got like the big long venom tongue, and like he's all just crazy looking. I'd love to see
have fun with that.
more 2099 stuff come out.
I think that would be cool, and I think honestly they would sell pretty well.
But I don't.
Probably not.
It's,
Like true fans like us,
Spidey gets a lot of love.
I got there because I just felt like I got there at box lunch like 15 minutes before the store opened and there was nobody there.
Sure.
So I walked around the mall for a little while. And after a little bit, I went back there and it was 5 till and there was nobody there. And I'm like, what am I thinking? Nobody's gonna be like, oh my god, Spidey 2099. Yeah, so they opened. I went in there, and then there was like 2 or 3 people as I was looking at them that they grabbed one and they grabbed another. So I was like, well, at least people acknowledged that he was here, but I don't expect her to be like, oh, an exclusive Naruto pop,
Yeah.
and there's a line outside of box lunch, like when I got that All Might Weekend, which was a box lunch exclusive. There was
Sure.
like a fucking line.
It just depends on what people give a shit about these days.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, like I said before, like I don't think anybody really knew that it was going to box lunch. I had no idea. That was a nice little surprise there.
Yeah, I figured I would take a look around. I remembered a couple weeks ago that I've got the Walgreens Moon Knight.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, maybe with the Moon Knight coming out, like that's gone up in value. Because like, I won't lie, like if I could get
a lot of them have.
Well, and I was like, if I could get like $30-$40 out of it, I'd totally fucking sell it. Moon Knight is not a character that I'm like so in love with. I bought it because it was neat. To be quite honest, but yeah, eBay, it looks like it's going for about 20.
Well, I wouldn't think that one would be like stellarly popular.
Yeah. Well, just because they've got the Disney Plus series
coming out
in
and
production. There
Oscar Isaac like showing off his really cool moves.
Maybe when the show gets closer to release, that'll go a little better.
On my Funko side, it says it's 43.
Really?
Yeah.
Like I say, maybe as we get closer to the actual show dropping.
Maybe I should have got it when I did.
I'll take a look at that. But we'll see. Good bath, Konar?
Yeah, because I don't plan on selling it, but the Boba Fett one I got with the Star Wars box.
Yeah.
That one is going for 100.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's the thing. I'm not going to sell it, of course, because it's Boba Fett. But yeah, I was surprised.
Like I say, there are a couple randos that I've picked up that I probably wouldn't mind parting with, but
$115 now.
Ooh.
It keeps going up. Yeah.
People like them some Boba Fett.
Yeah. And then this one, I didn't think it'd be worth anything. So I picked this one up at Star Wars Celebration. And I picked him up and another one up from the original Star Wars movie. Those were the only 2 pops available because all the other ones basically sold out. But I picked him up. I was like, you know what? I'll pick him up. That's fine. Not realizing that he's vaulted, so of course they don't make him anymore. Yeah, $130 he's going for, yeah. The Star Wars Celebration version is going for $130.
Very nice.
Yeah.
God damn.
It's amazing what a difference a sticker will do.
Sure.
It's freaking nuts.
1,000%. Anything that makes it more collectible.
Yeah. But yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, $130, damn. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. Like, these pops are, ever since COVID, pops have been going up. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It's not even like you can do anything with them.
Yeah, I know.
But I guess why not? Well, Efrain, do you want to count us in on this one?
Yes.
I think I did the last episode. Red boy.
All right, get started.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Felt a little tickle there.
I was going to say, cut that part out. Cut that part out. Hang on.
I was like,
hang on.
I was like, wait.
Whenever I go to record a podcast episode, like, for whatever reason, that's when my nose gets, like, super, like, itchy and twitchy.
Yeah, that's
like,
why, I took a little longer in there. I was like, okay, I'll just wash my hand, clear everything. Yeah. So, feel a little remnants. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to whatever this is. I'm Efrain. This is Ben.
I'm Ben.
And we are here to review episode 4 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which was in my opinion, a much better episode than episode 3.
This,
and
like, holy crap, this episode. Like, so much happened so quickly, just bam, 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 bam.
And that's what I was telling Ben earlier, that the pacing of this episode was so much better than the last episode.
Yeah.
Like we talked about before, as you guys know, the last episode felt very clunky. It was sort of all over the place. This episode felt very paceful, that, like, we both agreed it was, like, a rather intense episode.
Yeah.
It really got you into it. It was definitely a more serious tone.
Yeah, well, and
it really was.
That was something where I actually feel like the last episode's, like, playful Zemo, really kind of helped, like, lull you a little bit, and then this episode was like, oh, now that you're relaxed, by the way, boom, we're gonna gut punch you, like, repeatedly. But yeah, the writing and the pacing, the directing for this episode was just tense the whole time through. Like, I remember at a certain point, like, having to kind of just, like, mentally check myself and be like, oh, remember to relax. Like, you're watching a show. Like, you're not in combat yourself. Like, this is no big deal, Ben. Calm down. Man. Just...
Yeah, I know. I mean, I definitely want to start from the beginning. The very beginning really, it just really got it for me. Like, it just got me hooked in the episode. Like, when they were in Wakanda, and they were testing to see if, Bucky's Winter Soldier insides, basically, I guess, disappeared. And, I really, like, commend Sebastian Stan's acting in this scene, because you felt Bucky's pain as she was saying the words. Like, he was going through all these flashbacks, He was scared and terrified, and he didn't know what was going to happen. He kept saying it wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
And then, like, you felt him tense up, like, so much as she was going through the words. And then after that very last word, you just see the relief, as, like, tears were, like, just falling down his face, and she was like, you're cured. And just that scene where, like, he's just, smiling and laughing to himself, that he's like, I can't believe that worked. Like, I'm free of it, Like, it was such a very powerful scene to start off the episode.
Yeah.
It really got me into it, and it really, made me care about, like, Bucky that much more. Like, in that scene alone, it's like, before you're like, man, you never realized, like, how much he was going through whenever he was killing people as the Winter Soldier. Basically feeling trapped within himself. And, to me, that was the reasoning, of course, why all the tears were pouring out. And the fact that it worked, just an immense weight lifted off of his shoulders, And to me, that was a very good way to start the episode. It really was.
I remember when they first cast Sebastian Stan as Bucky and seeing him in Captain America: First Avenger. I was not impressed by him there.
Yeah.
Like, knowing that maybe someday he would become the Winter Soldier, I was like, no way, this guy. Like, nothing about him feels right. And it was...
By that time, we were also thinking, like, who knows how long the MCU is going to be. That was towards the beginning of it.
And that was the thing, was like, we don't even know if we're going to get a Winter Soldier. Like, that would be actors, so far down the line.
Yeah, who knows if we're going to... Yeah, see these actors after this movie. Come on.
But it was really seeing that particular set of emotions, that feeling that, like, he is trapped within his body in Civil War. Mm-hmm. Like, those straight-on moments when they would just show you his face, like when he's fighting with Steve, and you can see him internally being conflicted, even if physically he can't stop. Those are the moments that sold me on, oh, no, this guy was the perfect choice. And this, like, because it's one of those, like, movie magic things, like getting to see Bucky facially react to these memories and these things that we get to see happening.
Yeah.
Like, Sebastian Stan didn't get to rewatch those moments right there. Like, he's just sitting on a set, probably by himself, imagining stuff and just being like, you have to look conflicted, look relieved, look conflicted, look relieved, look very relieved. Like,
just think about it. You killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
Just, sure, like, the regrets, the instances, like, flashing back to that,
Yeah, it's just one after the next terrible thing you've done. Just bam, bam, bam,
just
bam.
Bam, bam. Literally, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
Like,
and so it's really impressive, again, to just keep in mind that, like, as an actor, he is acting against his imagined scenario of what he thinks Bucky's internal torture is. And he does a super good job selling it. And again, making you relieved, and also setting up the relationship that we then get to see Bucky struggle with for the rest of the episode with the Dora Milaje. Dora Milaje?
Milaje.
Yeah.
Yes.
Again, this is super well done. Looked good. If there was any plot line that I felt like the MCU really dropped the ball on, it was exploring Bucky's time in Wakanda, because we literally got, like, I guess we're going to freeze him in Wakanda, and then the next time we see him, it's just, he's a dude in Wakanda, and then it's, oh, you're fighting for Wakanda, and it was like, holy crap, like, I know we're hand-waving a lot of this, but, like,
we saw him at the end of Civil War, and at the end of Black Panther.
Yeah.
And then Infinity War.
And, like,
that was basically it.
And they're just moments. It's not even like a character arc or anything. It's just behind the scenes stuff has been happening. So actually getting to see that was pretty neat. And the thing is,
he was there for, like, what, 2 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he lived there for 2 years. So it's a lot of shit to do in 2 years. Yeah. So I mean, it was probably him, of course, just going through the certain instances.
Yeah, the deprogramming.
Yeah,
process.
the deprogramming process, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, which Io said, took a lot of resources and shit. So yeah, he had to guess that was a lot of, like.
Well, and that's it's
cheddar cheese going on.
It was really interesting to see Bucky's relationship with Wakanda get reframed to a certain degree in this too, with the idea that Bucky was welcomed into Wakanda on the basis of T'Challa's word, specifically T'Challa's word, and we still don't really know what's happened with T'Challa in the reality of the MCU. We know that Chadwick Boseman is no longer with us, but now we get to see Bucky doesn't have that person kind of fighting for him or his opinions now, and we get to see that AO does still respect Bucky in terms of, like, I know you need Zemo, you have a plan, we'll give you time to work your plan.
8 hours.
But you need to realize he's coming with us.
He's coming with us, yeah.
That was fantastic.
He killed our king, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, it's one of those things where, like, it's partially because it's been so long that it's easy to forget that. And it's also easy to think of T'Challa, to some degree, was okay with, well, Zemo's imprisoned. I don't want him dead, but I do want him captured.
The living are not done with you yet.
Yes. And so the idea that the Dora Milaje aren't going to let this guy slip through the cracks was a fantastic idea. I was very glad to see that it wasn't going to be just like Bucky promises to turn over Zemo and then Zemo escapes. At least the Melange did try to capture Zemo and then Zemo escaped.
Yeah. Even though like they were when they
What
were
are you gonna
fighting,
do?
it was the best meme I've seen. Like everybody's in love with the meme
1,000%.
that like the new drinking meme of
Yes.
Zemo watching the Dora Milaje kick the crap out of John Walker.
Yes.
You know.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, that's again. Zemo continues to be a highlight for me in this
he was
episode.
fantastic in this episode, especially like
Yeah.
towards the beginning when
Sorry, like
when they were talking about Carly
Morgenthau.
Yeah, Morgenthau. For some reason, I was gonna say Montague.
I keep juggling the names
Yeah.
myself. I have to stop and be like,
Yeah, when they were talking about her, and when Sam is like, she's just a kid, and Zemo is like, you're seeing something that you think is there, but it's not there. She's a supremacist. The moment she killed those people, as he's giving, Sam this whole speech, he's just spitting fire at him. I'm like, this is why I fucking love Zemo. He is basically turning the tables and talking about things to a different type of perspective.
well, and there's a
yeah,
you can go.
Well, I was gonna say,
I'll get to it.
and just the whole thing that Sam's saying, she's just a kid, and Zemo is like, bro, she's killed people willingly. She's not a kid anymore.
Yeah.
And the fact that she has the super soldier serum inside her is basically, bringing out the sort of corruption inside her. And he got that line, well, it didn't do anything to Steve. He's like, touche. But there was only one Steve Rogers.
Yep. There's never been another
There's
Steve
never
Rogers.
been another Steve Rogers.
Oh, well,
Yeah, that's great.
not to get too far into the
Great.
super soldier stuff because that's a thing.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
That's one of the things that I fell in love with Zemo during Thunderbolts Volume 1 was that Zemo is so very good at reading everybody in a room and figuring out what motivates them and what they're afraid of and then manipulating those things to his advantage.
Yes.
And within the Thunderbolts, there's a group of the characters who break away from him because they liked being superheroes, and there's a group of characters who stayed allied with him partially out of fear, partially out of respect, partially out of that hunger for power. But it only works because Zemo kept playing those relationships. And every time Zemo would pop up in the book, the good characters would be like, Zemo, we're going to get you! And he'd be like, but hang on. There's this thing you don't know about. And I can tell you about it, and I can help you stop it, but I have to be the one who does it. Like, I have to be in the room at the same time. And they go, oh, Zemo,
Hence,
okay.
the funeral.
And
That's exactly how he used the funeral.
and this scene is perfect. And this episode has been perfect in terms of using the fear of the refugees against Sam and Bucky, using Sam and Bucky against John, using John against Sam and Bucky. Even that discussion you were referencing with Zemo and Sam asks, like, well, what about Bucky? Like, if you're against anyone who has a super soldier serum in them, like, do you think he needs to die too? And Zemo just kind of dodges the question a little bit.
And that's when Sam is like, it ain't always about blood.
Yeah. And it's very much one of those things where, like I said, Zemo's just playing everybody against everybody, and him just standing back and sipping on his whiskey. I'll let you guys fight.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about
the
this.
justification of his intentions.
Yeah.
I'm just going to sit back here and take this nice whiskey while everybody just runs amok and fucks up each other.
I thought for sure when...
And then he fucking got away. He's
Closes
like,
the door,
I'm out.
locks it. Yep. As he was like, there will never be a better chance than this. That moment when Sam goes to talk to Carly, and it's John, Lamar, Zemo, and Bucky, like, in the room, and Zemo's, like, handcuffed to the thing.
Waiting.
The first shot of that scene is just, like, Zemo, and then the second shot is John, and you can't see Bucky or Lamar, and I'm like, did they just leave the most manipulative man in the Marvel Universe in a room with a man with an inferiority complex? Like, this isn't going to end well. And then, like, the camera pulled back and you saw Lamar and Bucky, and I was like,
oh yeah.
Thank God.
It's like, oh, they're there too. Okay.
Like, I even told it to my wife. I was like, I thought for sure Zemo was about to get John to somehow get him out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
And she was like, I thought so too.
He's just going to pull out the manipulation,
Yeah. And then John manipulated himself.
He did. It's taking too long. No, this is not a good idea. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up.
But that's
it's like chill, bro.
As like I said, Zemo was great. I love him.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
He's like a little aggressive, but I get it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, when you locked him up.
And then we've got John. Holy shit, John!
Freaking dude, man.
Like,
if there was ever any instance to let the world know that you are not Steve fucking Rogers, that was the perfect way to fucking do it.
The only way you could be less Steve Rogers would be to like pull on a Red Skull mask and be like,
yes.
like,
and I drop. Exactly, man.
Jesus criminy.
I don't know if you want to, concordantly get into that now, or if you just want to lead up into that.
I kind of want to get into it now because it's just such a big thing. Like this, I won't lie. This is also why I wanted you to open this episode, because like when I was thinking about it at work, my version of the opening is like, this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and it was crazy. And then we would have to backtrack on. I mean, we can still build to it, but like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
it's like blatantly ignoring the elephant in the room to me.
Well, first of all, I would just like to say that I kind of called it. I don't know if it was in the video or what we talked about, that at least one of them was going to die.
Yeah, you had suggested the idea that Lamar was going to die.
Yes, I did. And on that aspect, I was correct. And the reason why I said that is because it was a vehicle to drive the story forward.
Yeah.
It really was. And that's why I figured, like, not to say it's a cliche way to do things, but at the same time we have seen it done before in that way.
It's super frustrating. Like, the reason it's such an overused storytelling technique is because it's an effective storytelling technique.
It is. That's why it's been done through decades and generations.
Yeah. It does
in different ways, yes. To feed the story and to move it forward.
Yeah.
It had to be something to happen, especially after fucking John Walker kind of snuck that little super soldier serum and put it in his little pocket and took the motherfucker.
Which, like, and super props to Zemo for destroying those vials. Like,
yeah, it was that was so cool right there. Like, he just looked at it and he thought, is Zemo gonna take? No, fuck, he's not gonna take one. He fucking hates super soldiers. Yeah, so he fucking destroyed them all.
And it's an interesting thing of Zemo.
It was cool.
Who we think of as a villain.
And she saw him do it.
Mm-hmm. Zemo, who we think of as a villain, is the one character who will not betray himself and what he thinks is right. But then you look at Carly as a character who thinks she's helping the downtrodden and she's saving lives when she's killing people. And then you look at John, who is someone who thinks he has the moral right as Captain America to do whatever he needs to do, and then he murders a guy. Mm-hmm. These are both characters who compromise their morals and their beliefs in the name of accomplishing their goals, whereas Zemo will do the exact same thing, but he won't compromise his own personal beliefs.
He won't compromise himself.
His morals, I'll kill you, I'll manipulate you, I'll use you, I don't care, but I will not crack. The rest of you will crack around me. And seeing, like...
Well, that's been his ambition throughout the whole thing, including Civil War.
Yeah. Well, but you could make an argument of the literary idea of, like, beware of hunting monsters lest you become one yourself. Mm-hmm. We're watching Carly become a monster. Like, she goes from, I want to help refugees, to, Sam, I'll kill your sister and your nephews in the space of an episode.
Yeah, that I wasn't expecting. I'm like, hold back.
And even if it's a bluff.
Yeah, even if it's a bluff.
That's a hell of a move.
Yeah, she's still threatened them.
And John goes from, I'm going to be Captain America and protect people and hopefully save the world, to, I'm going to murder a man in the street in front of everybody, I don't care. Like, this isn't Black Ops. He's not in Afghanistan. This isn't a war zone. This was domestic conflict.
I mean, granted, See, that's what's so interesting about this show, is that everyone has their own reasoning in believing that they are right.
1,000%.
And, that conversation that John had with Lamar about them going into Afghanistan, like winning 3 medals, doing things that they did not want to do, that they had to do. And basically, asking Lamar, sort of nudging himself in a way, like, if you had to you had a chance to take the serum, would you do it? And he was like, hell yeah. He's like, imagine how many lives we would have saved. If
John was seeking approval.
And yeah, he was seeking approval, especially through his best friend. So he thought he was doing what was right. He didn't just take the serum.
Yeah.
He wanted to basically be sure, and another opinion to basically say, hey man, if you took the serum, like, you know, we could save all these lives. And he thought to himself, maybe if I take the serum now, I could save all these lives. Unfortunately, he didn't realize how much the serum, like Zemo said earlier, would actually corrupt someone in a way.
Well, and
in a certain way.
There's a lot of things in there I want to unpack. I really can't help, but I don't think he's going to, because I don't think John's this deep of a character. But I kind of hope that John's going to ask himself what would have happened if he had given it to Lamar instead.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, I understand John would still be a dude with Captain America's shield, but having Captain America's shield is still more than having nothing.
I mean, he was bummed out when the Dora Milaje whooped his ass.
Yeah.
He was like,
they
didn't even have any power.
They're not even super soldiers.
They're not even super soldiers.
Which...
You know? But
which is exactly why that moment happened, was to hit home the idea of you're Captain America, but you're useless.
Him not realizing that, like, these women have been trained since they were kids, you know?
Yeah.
You haven't.
With a singular purpose of becoming weapons for the king of Wakanda.
This was their whole life.
Yes.
You know, but he didn't take it in that way.
And you may have been a successful soldier in Afghanistan, but a successful soldier does not make you an expert in hand-to-hand spear shield-based combat. Like
spear, exactly.
I
mean, that part was really cool when... Man, I must have fucking nudged him right in the nuts when that fucking Dora Milaje, when he was trying to get the spear out with the fucking shield and he couldn't do it, and all of a sudden she came and went whoom, like that. The shield fell and she grabbed it. She does the cat catch. Yeah. Oh. She gave it to him.
Eat
like, here you go, you little bitch.
Yep.
Ooh.
Suck it, punk.
Oh man, I was like, in your face, man.
Well, and
they are so cool.
When I think we had even brought it up. I can't remember when. I want to say episode 2, maybe.
Real quick, and when Ayo did that to his fucking
undid Bucky's arm.
Like, was it fucking Kill Bill?
Yeah.
Like his arm and it fell and shit. Like, that was cool as fuck.
Well, and I saw.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you can go.
No, I was just gonna say real quick that, you know, it's funny that, like, she does that and you're basically like, yeah, she would know how to do that.
Well, that she would know how to do that, and somebody else pointed out that when that scene ends, she doesn't refer to him as White Wolf like she did at the start of the episode.
Bucky. No, James.
She calls him James.
James, yes.
So you can see that, like, the respect there had shifted.
Yeah.
Where I don't know how they view Bucky in Wakanda. Is he a part of it? Is he separate? Like, you know, in the comics, White Wolf is a very different thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the idea of, like, her estimation of him dropped with him defending Zemo, it's gotta hurt. Like, again, and Bucky's a guy who is struggling with self-confidence issues. We just saw in episode 2 the whole, well, maybe if Steve was wrong about you, maybe he was wrong about me. And now even the Dora Milaje are looking at him going like,
motherfucker.
Yeah, you just fucked up. You just betrayed us, too. Way to go, kid.
Exactly. It's like, you're sitting there like, what the hell?
You're lucky we let you keep that arm.
Yeah. Now, granted, like, you know, they're about to kill John and Lamar, so they had to stop them.
Yeah.
But, you know, in turn with that, so with John, look, I think we got off on the wrong. As soon as he went like that, I'm like,
well, that's... John, John has walked into every situation since he appeared trying to cash that Captain America check, and no one is accepting that currency right now.
No one.
And of course it's going to lead to him getting the crap beat out of him, like this cocky son of a bitch. Like, Jesus.
It's like going from giving somebody dollars, like, hey, you know, so, okay, $1 bill, to try and giving them fucking Monopoly money and saying, what the fuck is this shit?
Honestly, if he had just been a dude called U.S. Agent and he had a shield, and it wasn't Steve's shield, and he was just a dude, he probably would have gotten way more respect than continuing to show and be like, I'm Captain America, respect me. Like
I was kind of, I understand she was silent, but I was kind of hoping when Ayo, when he was like, you know, I'm Captain America. I figured like she would be silent, but I was hoping she'd be like, I met Captain America, and you are not him. Yeah, you know, something like that.
I even would have been happy with it, just like,
yeah,
or something like
exactly.
a stifled laugh of just like, yeah, sure, kid.
Oh, just the fact that, to me, if she would have been like, I met Captain America, and you are not him.
Well, I wanted to say,
or even Steve Rogers, I met Steve Rogers.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
That idea of John is a good soldier.
He is.
He's not necessarily a good man because of it.
He even regrets a lot of the stuff that they had to do overseas.
And that to me was more like from that moment, because even Lamar points out like the serum just makes you more what you are. Like, look at Carly, which to be fair, in Carly's perspective, she's helping people.
She feels what she's doing is right.
Correct. In the same way that honestly, like it was really interesting to me that when everyone's bringing up people using the super soldier serum, nobody brought up the Red Skull in terms of the really bad place the super soldier serum can take you. And I don't think that's where John's going, but John is a guy who has been trained to use whatever methods are necessary to achieve your objective. We're told in that scene with Lamar that they've done things that they aren't proud of. And if you're already sitting there admitting you have that capability inside you, the idea of going, maybe I should be more capable of doing that shit. But maybe you really shouldn't have taken that serum, buddy.
You probably should not have. Exactly.
It's perfectly in character for John. I
understand the beats that were like, going from A to B, to lead you into that scene where, like, well, obviously everyone knows he's going to take it now.
Yeah.
Because of the, like you said, his inferiority complex and the fact that, him getting all these losses was gaining into his inferiority complex, and finally, he was like, you know what? I'm going to take it, but just in case, I'm going to sort of get an approval from my best friend,
That's it. It really frustrates me that he didn't tell Lamar, and I get why he wouldn't.
Yeah, I get why he wouldn't either.
But I also can't help but think that may have changed how they would interact in the field. Like, anytime you're going to have a huge tactical advantage, you should... Let's like going into a combat arena without your gun and just being like, oh, hey, partner, by the way, I'm going to pretend I have a gun the whole time. I don't, but... fucking Lamar died for it.
Yeah, I know.
And, like, I'm really hoping that he's, like, mostly dead, but not fully dead.
Not fully dead.
But, like
more of, like... And the thing is, like, that actually would make John Walker look kind of worse that he killed someone.
Yeah.
Especially if Lamar's not dead.
Yeah. Well, and to a degree of, like, Lamar I don't want to say Lamar encouraged him taking the super soldier serum, but he encouraged the idea based on the idea that they would save lives.
It was hypothetical.
And then Lamar gets fucking killed. Whose life did you save in this situation, John? Nobody. You fucked up. Oh, you fucked up. I can feel I'm getting angry.
Your best friend died and you killed someone. In front of the entire fucking world.
Cold blood kill someone.
Cold blood kill. Everyone's gonna see that fucking shit stained in someone's blood.
And I told Lace, like, as the episode was wrapped, because
that was a nice little image there.
Yeah.
To wrap the episode, by the way, Captain America's shield stained with blood. That was fucking cool.
And like I saw someone joking online of the cut to Deadpool 2 and him being like, "Oh, that's dark. Are you sure you're not from the DC universe?" And like seeing that, pretty funny. Yeah, and I was like, yes, chef's kiss. But it immediately made me go like, this is why you keep the tone of your overall universe more neutral or lighter. Mm-hmm. Like, part of the problem, out of all the problems I have with the Snyderverse, like, one of the problems I have is, like, if Superman's willing to kill, and Batman's willing to kill, and Wonder Woman's willing to kill, and Aquaman's willing to kill, when everybody will murder whoever they feel like it because it's in the name of saving people's lives, that loses impact. Yeah. It doesn't matter anymore when Batman kills people because he just killed 25 thugs. Who gives a shit? So when you're used to Captain America, even if he was killing Hydra agents or, evil robots or aliens, those are things that from a human perspective we categorize really quickly as the other. We're willing to let those things die. And already, like, I've seen people online being like, well, he was attacking a terrorist who had helped attack a facility, even if he wasn't directly involved with it. He was supporting Carly. He helped plan this attack on Captain America in an attempt to kill him.
Yeah.
John was defending himself, and to some degree Lamar. But god dang, if that's just also not the worst way to go about it. But it hits because we know Steve wouldn't do that.
Yes.
Whereas, again, with the Snyderverse, if Batman's killing people left and right, it doesn't matter if he kills anybody anymore. Where that hits.
Yes, that hits very much so.
That's, I think it was Iron Man.
That's the thing. Where did it happen?
Oh.
What foreign? What?
The city was Riga. My brain wants to say Latvia.
Maybe.
But I don't honestly recall.
Well, that's the thing. That was even in
Europe.
That was yeah. There we go. Yes, Europe.
Nice.
Exactly.
Thanks, ignorant American.
Yeah.
one of many countries, Europe.
Zemo gets smarter and smarter every time we talk. Anyway, it's only Americans with a fine dressed black man would be a pimp, referred to as a
only an American with one specific country in an entire continent is all of Europe. Yeah, I know.
So that too.
Yeah.
It happened. He killed someone on foreign soil, representing America.
Yeah.
That does not look good.
Well, and that's
on a global scale at all.
And that's that's one of the things I said to Lacey as the credits were playing, and we were both just kind of sitting there shocked. But between my cat freaking out in my lap and then Lamar dying, and when Lamar got knocked in that pillar, I legit shouted. I was like, "Lamar!"
I shouted, "Oh, he did!"
Yeah, I was so caught up in the moment. And I looked over at Lacey and I was like, I don't think this was part of the intention, but we just watched Captain America kill a man, and it's about to be live streamed to the rest of the world. Mm-hmm. And I can't help but think about the fact that Derek Chauvin is currently on trial up in Minneapolis for the death of George Floyd, and we have people questioning whether or not it was a justified killing or not. And seeing that, the part of me that loves superheroes and loves what Steve Rogers stands for immediately goes, John is going to get off on this 100%, because the United States PR press corps is going to go, he was avenging a comrade who was murdered by this terrorist cell who killed X amount of people.
They'll definitely set it up that way.
We've seen trailer shots of Sam throwing the shield around.
I mean, the guy wasn't necessarily innocent that he killed.
Oh no! Well, that's the thing.
That's the thing, exactly.
That's the thing, is he himself did not, to the best of our knowledge, did not have blood on his hands.
Yeah.
But he was supporting a power structure that had blood on its hands.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Could you have captured him?
This was granted, quote unquote, a terrorist.
Yes. Could you have captured him? Yes.
Yes.
Could they have detained him? Yes. Would that stop John in that moment? No. We've seen that he has anger issues. We've seen him yell and attack other people. We've seen him yell and attack our lead characters when, for the most part, I mean, other than kind of being a-holes, they've been pretty, we'll work with you, but stay out of our way kind of thing. Yeah. It was super sobering to me to, like I said, to see that shot. Even, I'll fully admit that I've never read John's original arc in the Captain America stuff, but I don't think even there that he killed people. I think he was just a big asshole.
I actually read an article about John Walker in the comics today.
Yeah?
Yes. And actually, I think it was terrorists, actually killed his parents.
Sure.
And somehow
was this from Christopher Priest's recent series?
No, this was
the way back?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is way back when he was Captain America, and I believe Captain America number 333.
It was in the 80s, is all I know.
Yeah, and he became Captain America. His parents died or got killed, and then somehow he killed a bunch of guys.
Okay.
It was in front of an audience or whatever or whatnot. Something happened where he just went off relentlessly.
Whoopsie doopsie.
Yeah, exactly. And in Captain America 350, that's John F. Walker himself in the comics begged Captain America to take the shield back.
And that's I had brought up that we've seen Sam throw the shield in like trailer moments.
Yes.
And I've been working under the assumption that Sam and Bucky would like steal the shield, or they would uncover that John. I was totally wrong on my call that John was already taking Power Broker Super Soldier Serum. So to me, but
yeah, I was gonna say I didn't think he was yet.
Yeah, there's almost a degree of, is the United States going to strip John of like his rank and his shield, and then give it to Sam to be like, hey man, whoo boy, did we make the wrong call? How about you have the shield? Because I still don't see Sam accepting that. Like, I don't think he would want to be America's second choice. Like,
maybe.
The closer we get to the end of this, the less I feel like Sam is going to become Captain America. Especially given that we only have 2 episodes left.
Yeah.
And to be
there
fair,
has to be...
this was a fast episode.
It was. Now, I did read something today. It was a leak that the runtime for the next episode is over an hour long.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So we could be getting more.
Sure.
But there is a possibility that, you know, people at this time, like, see an unforgivable John Walker. But it's possible that in this instance, like, maybe it'll kind of go by the comics to where, like, the next episode, you might see a completely different side of him. And maybe he... I don't want to say necessarily beg Sam to take the shield back, but maybe him and Sam, like, just have a little, I don't know, heart-to-heart or something like that.
Yeah.
Realizing, like, he's never going to be Cap, and, like, what he's done was against all of what Cap stood for. And I don't know, maybe he tries to give him a shield.
Man, I have such a hard time looking at this version of John and believing he would do that.
Well, that's the thing.
But I won't say it couldn't happen.
Yeah, that's the thing. Maybe that's even more surprise. It's like people can't see that it could happen.
Yeah.
And maybe it could happen because of that. I don't know.
Sure.
But, you know, that's what I'm thinking. Like you said, how else would Sam get the shield?
Yeah.
You know, because he gave it to the government.
Yeah.
You know, I think the government's going to be like, you know what? We fucked up. Maybe you fucked up. I don't know. But maybe you should take the shield.
We're not saying we fucked up. We're not saying you screwed this up. We're saying
us.
There were a bunch of things that went wrong with this, and we just kind of want to move on.
Exactly.
Have a shield.
There you go.
Have a nice day. Have a home loan.
Gave it to you anyway. Maybe Bucky was right.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I could see that as a possibility.
Yeah.
You know, that's how maybe Sam does it.
It's almost a degree of like, I mean, I want John to be a good guy is part of what I want. Like, I want him to be redeemed.
Or maybe Sam and Bucky have an actual heart-to-heart.
Yeah.
You know, about it. Yeah.
But yeah, again, like, I keep wanting to say, like, we have so little time, and they got so much done at the end of WandaVision, and again, so much was left to be continued. I can't help but wonder how much of this will be left to be continued. But yeah, like I said, John's story really breaking my heart at this point. John's story breaking my heart more than Carly's story breaking my heart. Like, she's really solidifying herself as a piece of shit to me. And
that's the thing. They're trying to get you to kind of sympathize with her, especially with the you know, her and Sam, you know, having a conversation about how Sam, he basically agrees with what she is
her aims
doing, but he's not agreeing with how she is doing it.
Well, I think that's the thing that's tripping me up is, like, the first 2 episodes I agreed with Carly's perspective to begin with, and then now they have to do this hard turn to make her into this more evil figure.
Yeah.
And then even, again, that discussion she has with Sam...
Super Soldier corruption in a way, I guess.
Yeah.
You know.
That discussion she has with Sam, she's all over the place. Like, I don't feel like she knows what she stands for.
Yeah, because she's like, I kill them again, you know.
Yeah.
And if I would do it again, I would kill them again. And Sam was like, "Oh," she's like, "No, that's
you made me say
that's
that.
I
thought people were sheep."
It's like, no, you literally just said that. And he didn't make you say it.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So I don't know.
The flip side of that for me is like, that scene played Sam as Zemo to me, and Sam is much more like Steve. Mm-hmm. Like it didn't. The idea of how I'm gonna mental chess outmaneuver her own feelings didn't sit well with me. I didn't like the way that discussion was written. I don't think it flowed properly.
So in a way, he was sort of putting words in her. So he was kind of putting words into her mouth because of the manipulation. Maybe she did kind of have a point when she was like, "No, you made me say that."
I personally think so, because I don't think Sam would have.
So maybe he did.
I don't think Sam would have brought up the idea of like, you're a supremacist if Zemo hadn't said the exact same thing earlier.
Yeah.
Like again, Sam's looking at her scene.
He said that to her.
Yeah, but he said it because Zemo said it about Carly to begin with.
And that's what he told her.
Yeah.
That Zemo said it.
He was like, my buddy said you're a supremacist. Yeah. What do you say about that? And then she's like, I'm not a supremacist. And he's like, are you sure? And she's like, I'm totally a supremacist, except not in the name. I just want to do supremacist things to people. Like, kill them. Like, I don't know.
But that doesn't make me a supremacist.
Yeah, like, it's weird because...
That's such a bad word to describe what I am.
Well, I feel like it's one of those things where, like, when someone's like, I'm pro-white rights, and I think all of the other races should have less rights than I do, and then you go, oh, you're a Nazi, and then they go, well, I'm not a Nazi. It's that idea of, like, just because you don't identify as it doesn't mean you're not adopting those beliefs unto yourself. And that's Carly is putting herself and her judgment above everyone else around her, which, to be fair, is what Steve would do. And it's what Sam would do, and it's what John did, and so it's always an idea of you have to do what you think is right, but what you think is right shouldn't involve killing people or killing as many people as you can to make a point or send your message. Like, and that's ultimately the thing that Sam is disagreeing with, because it's like I said, John thought he was doing the right thing.
Exactly.
Carly thinks she's doing the right thing.
So everyone here is basically...
Everyone here is well motivated.
Doing the right thing, exactly.
Everyone here is just really terrible at being well motivated.
And the basis for the series is the Shield.
Yeah.
Because even, Carly, her discussion with her compatriot who later on got killed by John Walker... Yeah. Earlier in the conversation they had was him believing in Captain America.
I was a Captain America fan.
He was a Captain America fan. And yeah, exactly. And I was
what
like,
a way to go.
Steve Rogers, Captain America, yeah. But, even she was like, that shield fucking has to go. Fuck that shield. That shield stands for everything that's wrong of what we're doing. Not right. And that shield ended up killing that motherfucker, know? Wow.
Well, it's
pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's when even Sam brings up the idea of maybe the shield should just be destroyed. Maybe no one should have it.
Yeah.
And Bucky says that shield means a lot of things to a lot of people, myself included, and we're still reckoning with what that means. To everybody.
It's such a
in our main cast.
Exactly. It's such a subtle but main plot to the entire series.
Well, and that's part of the idea of not just having a new Captain America, because okay, let's say the name doesn't matter, it's the people who are willing to fight. Well, you have the Flag Smashers who have a noble goal and they have the strength to fight for their goal, but are their ends noble if it means you're going to kill people? And again, they bring up the idea of like, some of those people you killed had family, they're just doing their job. Their families are now grieving and they've lost someone. Like, how are they going to provide? Yeah. The idea of you don't just kill one person and you're done. You're affecting dozens, if not hundreds of people as you continue to expand that ring out and out and out. Yeah. I remember watching Iron Man 3 for the first time, and, Tony was, like, repulsor blasting, like, all of the soldiers who had gotten the extremis in them. And, like, that was the first time it had really occurred to me of, like, oh, they're just straight up murdering people in the MCU. Yeah. And, like, don't get me wrong, I understand. Those people are a danger and they're a threat, and they've actively killed people. And are actively trying to kill Tony. I get it.
He killed people in Iron Man 1?
Yeah, but again, this was the first time where the movie-watching experience didn't keep me
basically hit you
within that. That was the first time when I was like, oh, no. they're murdering people.
Yeah.
And they're doing it in the name of hopefully saving lives and keeping the world a safe place.
The president, man.
Yeah.
They had to rescue the president.
But it's really weird to me that
Rhodey, baby. Rhodey.
Yeah. That without a suit. Damn it.
Without a suit, yeah.
It's really telling to me that I just watched John beat a man to death with a legacy that isn't his, and I want him to be saved, whereas Carly has been killing people, fighting for noble goals, and I don't give a crap whether she's saved or not. Like, I'm invested in John's, and I think I'm invested in John's struggle because he's calling himself Captain America. I get that. Whereas, like I said, with Carly, I personally don't feel an attachment to her, and even then, I agree, like, with her idea. The idea that during the blip, everybody just moved. So, like, you're living in someone's house, you're eating their resources they left behind or whatever, like, and then those people just come back one day. And it's, this way you've been living for 5 years doesn't matter anymore. Yeah. Your lives are irrelevant. You're GTFO.
You're kicked out.
Like, I absolutely understand how difficult that would make people's lives. But then the trade-off for me is, like, why don't you just, like, move? Like, just because you left your house to live in someone else's house to be closer to people doesn't mean your house is gone. If anything, your house is more of your house because they're giving the people who came back their old stuff back, right? Like, I don't...
Who knows how it could have went?
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, is there's a certain degree of, like, and it's because I'm a storytelling nerd and I love world building, where, like, the world building for the GRC doesn't work for me to a degree of I don't know why your complaint is what your complaint is, Carly.
It doesn't feel like something that you should, like, steal medicine and kill people over.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. It doesn't seem like...
Because all these people came from somewhere.
Yeah.
So, like, why didn't you have food? Why didn't you have medicine? Why can't you just go home and have food and medicine?
It doesn't seem like something that you would steal super soldier serums and inject people in for. You know, as, like, a noble cause of terrorism.
Yeah.
You know, basically.
And even the Robin Hood idea, like, we need to rob from the rich to give to the poor. Where did the poor come from in this situation? Like, I don't understand. Like, what...
It's like, is because of the blip? Who are you blaming then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's
the people that kicked you out of their home 5 years later?
Yeah.
I mean, like, why is it their fault? They were gone for 5 years.
Yeah, they couldn't control this.
Like, I actually never thought of this before.
And I understand the idea that it would be difficult to, you know, especially because they really seem to be playing on the idea. I think there's a little bit of Brexit in here, but because they bring up after Carly's attack the idea that Europe is considering, like, closing borders, like the free travel between nations is going to be shut down. Well, in a world where the government's collapsed because of the snap, people probably freely move through nations. And like I said, I don't like my apartment, I'm going to move into the apartment next to me. They're gone, I might as well. But then the idea comes back and you have 5 years of this has been mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, there's definitely a discrepancy there.
It's another change.
Yeah.
You know, it's...
But again, the idea that suddenly you're homeless...
Yeah.
No, just go back to your old home. Like, I don't understand. Who's moved into your home, because then you could complain to the GRC and kick them out and get your home back.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing, too. You know, God, I can't... They said her name, like, I don't know how many times, but the woman that took care of her.
Doña... something or other.
There you go. Yes. You know, she said she took them in.
Yeah.
She took care of them. She loved them and everything. But she still wasn't satisfied with what happened to where she had to do all this stuff. I mean, that's the thing. Who is she? I understand she's upset, but who is she upset at?
Yeah.
The government?
Well, that's like, the idea would be
the people.
She's upset at the GRC.
The GRC.
The global center.
Resources? Maybe?
Reclamation? I don't know.
Reclamation?
The GRC. They keep referring to it. That's how I know it.
The GERC.
But yeah, you know, having Carly bring up Sam's sister and, like, the boat loan and then getting that with the house. I understand that they were trying to tie those two narratives together, but it didn't feel Sam and Sarah's story didn't feel connected to the idea of
what could relate to the other. Sort of.
The source didn't feel the same.
Yeah.
Sam couldn't get a bank loan because this bank denied him a loan, not because the GRC denied him a loan. Mm-hmm. Like, the problem there to me is very different, where Carly's just like...
They're going through tough times in different ways, and somehow they're trying to make it to where they're sort of...
We as an audience...
Going in the same type of direction in a way.
Yeah, we as an audience are supposed to look at the bank as an oppressor, and we're supposed to look at the GRC as an oppressor, who are keeping these hardworking people down when all they want to do is survive and live their lives, which is fair, but I also don't think Sam's situation would be resolved by blowing up the bank.
Yeah, the agendas don't seem similar.
Yeah, there's a disconnect here that's not working for me.
Yeah, so saying that Sam, I can relate, it's like, well,
God, that was when
dude,
when he looked her in the eyes and he was like, I understand you, and I was like, you John Walker the fuck back out of this room. Like, don't give me that cocky bull crap. Like, No angsty teenager is going to buy, well, I understand you. Like, no.
Well, that's why she was like, don't condescend me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not a kid.
Yeah, that's angry teenager.
And he's like,
Ben would have been...
He's like, I'm not. Which, I don't know, I get it. I guess maybe he's talking about
Yeah, and I'm not haggling with your life either, Sharon Carter, but I'll haggle with your life. Like...
Man, he's really up to calling some people, because even when he talked to the guy in the little place, he was like, well, I could make a call. It's like, how many people you know, bro?
Yeah.
You can't even get a bank loan, but yet you keep telling people, I can make a call.
You're making government promises that I don't think you can cash.
You are good to go. Yeah. All I have to do is make a call, and you are home free. Except I can't make a call to the bank and not get a loan, even though I'm the Falcon.
Yep.
But hey, you need a phone call. I got you.
I'll call people. I can't promise results.
Exactly.
But I'm willing to try.
I can make a phone call. Doesn't mean anything positive will go your way.
I will take a meeting.
I'll try.
Might not work out.
But hey, I'll try.
And just...
I'm the Falcon.
I don't know. Sam feels so ineffective at anything right now. Like, the whole situation... And admittedly, like, everything's chaos.
Yeah, and it is. It's a little chaotic. And I don't know if... I mean, we're saying in a way Sam is possibly getting lost, but at least in this episode a little bit. Well, hopefully in the next episode, like, his story will pick up a lot more.
Yeah, I want, having been presented with all of these different points of views and all of these conflicting emotional conflicts, I want Sam to have, like, when Steve looks at Nick Fury in Winter Soldier, and Nick's like, we could, we'll get rid of Hydra, we'll save S.H.I.E.L.D., and Steve, like, leans on him, he's like, no.
Yeah.
They both go...
He's like, we're not saving anything.
Yeah, they're one and the same. I want my Sam moment of, like, I know what I'm doing, god damn it, all the rest of you shut the fuck up, we're doing Sam's plan, and we're gonna kick ass doing it. Mm-hmm. And that's what saves the day, is ultimately what I want.
Yes.
Which, to be fair... You do that in the final third of your movie, not in episode 4.
Not in episode 4.
So hopefully we'll get it.
At possibly beginning, middle, half of episode 6.
We're going to get it in episode 6.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. That'd be really cool.
I want to see Sam in costume before the series ends, and every episode I fear a little less that we're going to get it. I feel a little more that we're not going to get it.
I just... Man, it's going to be a real bummer if that happens. So we saw Scarlet Witch in full costume.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's possible we could last 5 minutes. That'd be awesome.
We present your new Captain America, and then the camera turns, then it cuts to black.
I mean, how dope would it be if he pulls like a fucking Spider-Man type of ending where he's flying through the sky and shit, and like just like S.H.I.E.L.D.
Fireworks are going off.
Well, I don't know about that far.
No, come on.
Not that far.
Come on, let's go.
I mean, what is he, John Walker?
Yeah, why not?
Like, seriously.
Look.
Like, no, I mean, he's just flying.
I gotta go through all this emotional turmoil. I'm over here, like, having jump scares.
They're gonna give him fireworks?
I want fireworks.
Yeah?
I want this to be a moment of triumph.
Bucky's gonna shoot off
This
fireworks.
This is the new 4th of July, out of his arm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Out of his,
He
out of
gets
his arm.
he gets Dragonzord fingers, and it's like pew 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 pew.
Vibranium fireworks.
Yeah, 1000%.
Can't get tarnished. They never disintegrate. They stay forever in the sky.
Oh, but
I
yeah,
figured it'd be cool. He's flying around in the cap suit, like throwing the shield, and then flying around catching the shit, and just cool. Then like at the very end, like him, like boom, the camera with the shield, and it's got the sand mask with the wings.
Yeah.
Boom, credits.
I've seen so
That
many
would
people.
Be so dope.
So many people online.
I'm probably wrong, but I don't care. I'm calling it.
I don't know how he's gonna fly and use the shield at the same time, and I'm like,
you're stupid.
It's comic books, man.
That's
like,
my answer to that question. Is
like that's how it doesn't matter. Like Jesus, the shield doesn't obey the laws of physics anyways. They legit called it out. Like
it's funny to me that that's the question they're gonna ask, but yet like they don't ask shit like, well, like how is there like civilization on the Saturn moon Titan?
Yeah.
It's a comic book.
Out of all the physics things you should have a problem with, how does a man with wings throw a shield is the thing that's gonna like break it for you? And I get it. Like there's minor shit in some stuff that'll trip me.
Guess what movie we're gonna get in like a year? A movie about like people that have lived for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Okay. But somebody's worried about, I don't understand how Sam's gonna fly around and use the shield. Shut the hell up.
He's gonna do the exact same thing.
He's
Steve
gonna
did,
do
he's
it.
Just gonna do it in the air.
Exactly. He's gonna do it, and it's gonna look cool. Okay, it's gonna look fucking cool. All right, these people, man, this stupid shit they come up with. Yeah. I don't understand that. I really don't. I really don't.
When you see it, when you see it, you'll get it. Like it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be dope.
It's gonna look dope.
I've read these volumes of Captain America. They work fine. It's not a problem.
Exactly.
Out of all the things we can have a problem with.
Gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool, and hopefully they will do it, and when they do, and it's the end part, you're gonna be like, holy fuck, when's the next time we're gonna see his ass?
I wanted to ask, do you think we're gonna see Zemo in the rest of the series?
Yeah.
Because this, to me, could be a really good, like, WandaVision drop Zemo out, and he'll show up wherever it is he shows up, like, in the rest of the MCU kind of moment. Because like I'm kind of over with him stealing the show. In this
instance, I think it's not so much as because he steals basically every scene he's in. Yeah. Daniel Bruhl's a great actor.
He's crushing it.
He is. He's crushing it madly, man. And the fact that Marvel actually released an extended edition.
Oh my god.
Of him dancing because people wanted it. It makes me wonder if people even realize is there an extended cut or people were just saying that. And the fact that Marvel was like, you know what?
Yeah, they were like,
there is an extended cut.
Well, and
let's release that since you guys love it so fucking much.
And there's a huge, and admittedly, it was all filmed already, so like, who cares?
It was.
It's not like
it was like 30 seconds long, which isn't that long.
Yeah,
but still, I watched it like 4 times
because
it's so entertaining.
It's really cool to me. Like I really, really hate this like fan mob justice bullcrap of release the Snyder Cut, restore the Snyder Cut. We're gonna sink Godzilla vs. Kong if WB doesn't give in to our demands.
Oh, you mean Snyderverse?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't care. Like,
I honestly don't either.
Your movie's bombed. Get over it. Move on. Like, you have to accept and just move on to the next thing, which is hopefully better. And like, but when they were like, yeah, we'll release the Zemo footage. Why not? Who cares? That was great. That's
pretty great.
Like,
it was.
Nobody got mean about it.
Like, this wasn't in, and I was like, this. They released an extended. There's actually an extended version. That was awesome.
It continues to show that Marvel has a sense of humor about what they're doing.
Yes,
they're not precious about it. They're like, yeah, why not? I guess, sure, people. It keeps them in the news. It keeps building up goodwill with fans. There we go. Sure, like that to me is the way to do it. Like the whole Snyderverse thing is just so overblown and so ridiculous. Like, ugh.
I agree, it is.
But yeah, I honestly wouldn't mind if Zemo dropped out from here on out and we get a like end credits like.
I just.
You think he's gonna do more?
I'd say they're gonna at least show him possibly that, but before that, possibly one more time before that. You know, I think because of the fact that he's really popular and he steals every scene he's in, but I think, you know, series wise, he's an important character. So I don't know if he would just
see the trade-off with me with that is
just drop out like that.
I don't know how important he still is at this point. You know, depending on the jump between episodes 4 and 5, like Sam and Bucky are in the same area as John, who's in the same area as the Flag Smashers. Like, I'm assuming the Flag Smashers are probably going to, like, go into hiding and go somewhere else, potentially threaten Sam's family, but I don't really know what they need Zemo for with that. Especially if they're going to be...
Because they need to take Zemo back to prison.
Well, yeah.
Everyone wants to take him back to prison.
But...
And in that instance, I feel that he's extremely important. Because...
If this show had given a single shit about actually putting Zemo back in prison, he wouldn't have escaped like 6 dozen times at this point.
Well, that's basically the whole idea.
The only reason Zemo's not in prison is because he doesn't want to be in prison at this point.
Yeah, of course.
They're going to leave him open-ended to do other shenanigans in the MCU.
Well, that was my thing before they introduced Zemo. I thought he had broken out of prison already.
Agreed. That's why I don't think they're going to hunt him down. They've got John to deal with, who's having a PTSD crash. They got terrorists who want to kill Sam's family to deal with. Like,
well, I don't think the Dora Milaje are necessarily just going to pick up and go back to Wakanda.
But there's such a I feel like
but at the same time, I'm not saying that they're not going to show them that they're not.
I think this is a Jimmy Woo situation.
Yeah.
I think they'll be like, we're gonna hunt Zemo down, and then they're gonna fade into the background.
It's possible that they'll show like AO like one last time and that's it.
Yeah, I think Zemo's gonna stay free, and I think, assuming Sam becomes Captain America, Zemo will continue to be the thing that Sam and Bucky have to struggle against. I don't think the Wakanda thing is going to remain a huge plot point. Wakanda's, I get the feeling, going to have its own crap to deal with in Black Panther 2.
Yeah.
And whatever the world of Wakanda show is going to be.
It's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's still years out.
Yeah. It really, saddens me that yesterday Ryan Coogler put something out, that said, Chadwick only wanted me to know what he wanted me to know. Even
he didn't know that he was
exactly.
sick.
Even he didn't know that he was sick.
That's the thing that got me the most out of it, was that Chadwick would have gone into this role knowing that he could die, knowing that it was potential could happen, and he would have to exercise his ass off, stay in shape, kill at this role, still provide for his family, be a father, be a friend. And, you hear all these great stories about him being on set, and he's still giving of himself.
Yeah, Ryan Coogler.
At a time when...
He's still helping people.
Yeah.
He said he was like, he didn't take care of himself. He said he asked everybody else if they were okay.
Yeah.
And he said even if he wasn't filming that day, he would still stay just to read back lines for other people on set. I'm like...
It's amazing.
I was like, that's incredible. And yeah, he was like, he was just such a good friend and a fellow collaborator, there won't be anyone like him. Reading that, man, it saddened me, Yeah. I'm like, damn, he was such a good talent, and he was obviously a good person, And the fact that, Ryan Coogler, he's like, I'm lost. He's like, it's been so difficult.
Yeah.
He was like, this was his movie. That's what he started off with. This was his movie.
I've been pretty adamant about the idea that, I don't really feel you could recast T'Challa.
Feige was right on that.
Yeah. And I don't know, if I was Kevin Feige in charge of Marvel Studios, I legitimately have no idea how I would do this situation from a storytelling standpoint, from a casting standpoint.
That's the thing. I'm sure him and I'm sure Feige and Ryan Coogler sat down and was like, we're both hurt, we're both hurt really bad and sad, but it's business.
This juggernaut isn't going to be stopped either. Do we just cancel all Wakanda related material.
Yeah. And I know Feige and Coogler, you know, they had like a heavy talk about that. Yeah, you know they did. Because Chadwick meant something to both of them, you know? So Feige handpicked Chadwick.
Yeah.
He did. He said he was the first and only choice. You know? And yeah, I don't know how they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how. But, you know, leading into that, it makes me wonder if this will have anything to do with Black Panther 2 in a way. But, like, I mean, you know, of course that's going to be a much bigger story.
Yeah.
But, you know, who knows if this will be brought up. I mean, granted, Zemo did kill King T'Chaka, but...
Well, and there's a degree of, again, we don't know where this ends in terms of characters' narratives, what it's setting up, we don't know.
Yeah.
This could
where it's headed, yeah.
There's a part of me that says this could end with Sam becoming Captain America, and then Bucky basically does what Sam did at the end of Winter Soldier, where he's like, I'm going to go hunt down Zemo. And maybe he teams up with the Dora Milaje in order to try and win their respect back.
Could be true.
That could be a World of Wakanda thing, which there's a part of me that is a little frustrated at the idea of let's star the white guy in an African nation's storytelling setting. But so much of Bucky's story has been set in Wakanda at this point. I want to see his relationships with the Dora Milaje. I want to see...
Maybe we'll get, like what you said, as possible flashbacks of him.
Yeah.
You know, those 2 years of being in Wakanda.
Let's say training, fighting, whatever. Did he get to meet Princess Shuri? Because I'm sure she would have given him shit. Or... No, that came out right. She would have given him shit. Because she's probably the one who designed his arm. Which could be a super lot of fun, especially since she's so kinetic and Bucky's such a, like, reserved... kind of guy. Yeah, you know, there could be a lot... Again, we don't know what this is leading into, so you could do a whole bunch of different ways to end this. Because that was kind of... Mentally, I was like, I don't see it being Captain America and the Winter Soldier on the new squad of Avengers fighting whatever our future threat is. Like, I won't say you can't do it, because we've gotten such a mashup of, like, the Avengers and the Guardians and so many other characters in previous Avengers films. But yeah, in terms of, like, a sellable narrative, I find that hard to see.
Yeah.
But I won't say they couldn't do something like that. Again, we don't know where this ends.
Yeah, we don't know where this ends. We don't know when the next Avengers movie is going to come out and what that's going to lead into. You know,
or series.
Yeah, or series.
Just because they have it. That to me is the thing, is Marvel's gotten so good at keeping everybody so quiet for so long.
That's the thing. We know they have a plan on when they're going to introduce these characters next. We just don't know.
Yeah.
You know.
We just don't know where it all comes back together.
We just don't know where it all culminates. You know, exactly, where it's going to culminate into. To whereas we already knew that Scarlet Witch was going to be in Doctor Strange 2. They basically told us that.
Yeah.
You know, so... We don't know when we're gonna see Sam as Cap,
Sam or Bucky.
You know, Sam
after
or
this.
Bucky,
or Zemo.
That's gonna lead into
John.
Or Zemo.
We don't know.
John.
We know so little.
If he does become U.S. agent, you know, if Zemo forms the Masters of Evil, that I'm hoping, which probably won't happen.
I
Thunderbolts. Like you said, General Ross is still in there.
I want to see Masters of Evil before Thunderbolts.
I agree.
I'm a Thunderbolt stan.
I want to see Abomination.
Yes.
Like,
and
come on.
The idea of getting
if Zemo like goes to Alaska and like that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
It's like, what the, you know, Tim Roth is Abomination again, and you know, I am Zemo. Like, I've come to set you free.
Because there's a degree of
putting together.
In terms of needing allies.
Yeah.
Who could Zemo recruit more to defend him from, like, the Dora Milaje and Bucky and the Avengers than other superpowered freaks?
That's good reason.
Who, from his perspective, are expendable. I don't care if you catch the Abomination.
Yeah.
He's a super soldier anyway. Screw that guy.
Exactly.
But it would... Yeah. But it is... The other flip side is that it is him breaking his own code of, like, super soldiers need to be destroyed and they can't be allowed to exist. I better put a crew together of them, like, But I saw someone did, like, a fan edit of, like, it was Zemo, cool. U.S. Agent, General Ross, Batroc, Ghost.
Yeah, Batroc's still out there.
And I think there was one other person, and it had, like, the Thunderbolts logo over it. And to be fair,
Ghost, huh?
every one of those characters has been a Thunderbolt at some point or another in Marvel history.
Interesting.
That spans 30 years of history.
Yeah.
None of them are who I want to see on my Thunderbolts team, but that doesn't mean they wouldn't do it. So I don't know.
They could.
They could.
They have those characters.
They
you know,
do.
it is interesting that you say that because
They do.
I'm sure you're not the only one that knows that.
And they
So
and they only just made Batroc a Thunderbolt in like a recent miniseries. So
see,
like
that one kind of worked out.
maybe he got miniseries booted up because they were developing him for newer things.
Yeah, you never know.
I don't know, and I hate it.
Yeah.
Look, I like seeing Batroc as a B level, not even a C level, show up and get your butt kicked, get out type of villain. God, I don't want to see him on the Thunderbolts. This is like seeing the Thunderbolts get adapted is going to be like seeing the X-Men get adapted again, and if they fuck it up, it's just going to break my heart
Who
one
else
more
would
time.
they introduce? Swordsman, Mockingbird.
Well, that's the original lineup of the Thunderbolts is Atlas, Songbird, Mach 1, the Fixer, Baron Zemo as Citizen V, and I feel like I'm forgetting somebody, but I might just be thinking of Jolt, who joins the team within the like first 6 issues or so. But yeah, they're all bad guys who then pretend to be good guys in order to like lull the world into a false sense of security. At a time when there are no Avengers, and there aren't currently an Avengers in the MCU right now.
This is true.
But we don't have any of those characters introduced other than Zemo. I could absolutely see Zemo dressing up as Citizen V in the good old Stars and Stripes costume and being like, yep, I'm the one who's going to save the world now. Screw you guys.
Fuck the Avengers.
Yes. But, again, we haven't seen any of the other characters introduced. It would be a big thing for me to be like, oh yeah, Mach 1, who used to be the Beetle, exists, but the Beetle's a Spider-Man villain, and we don't have a lot of Spidey stuff at the moment. Like, again, there's so much groundwork
just
to be laid.
introduce Mach 1.
Yes. But then...
But then...
How is he a former villain? Is he just some goon who was, like, hired by somebody at some point? Like, it just lacks... It lacks the impact that the Thunderbolts would have had in the comic books. But yeah, it's... Thunderbolts is a thing where I think no matter what they do, I'm going to be upset.
Yeah, more than likely.
And I just hope that's not the case. And it's not even going to be because it's bad. It's just going to be because I want the comics, and they're not going to be able to deliver the comics, which is fine.
If they decide to do it.
Something I'm just going to have to let go. I'd rather see the Masters of Evil as an alliance of villains who have to beat people up.
I think that would be cool.
That's fine. I can live.
I think that would be cool.
And the Masters have an ever-changing lineup anyway, so who they are doesn't matter. Like,
exactly. And, like you listed off before, they have a few villains that are still alive.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
We just don't see people typically repeat. Let's say Batroc's the first, repeat villain. Batroc and Zemo are the first repeat villains we've got, if you count General Ross as a villain. And he's not a Hulk yet, so as far as I'm concerned, he's not a
Hulk yet. Exactly.
We'll see on that one. Red Hulk could be a lot of fun, though.
Red Hulk could be pretty awesome.
And in
She-Hulk
theory,
series?
And in theory, if
we got so many series coming out,
and if the Netflix shows get even vaguely adopted into the MCU, Punisher and Elektra were Thunderbolts as well, during the 2016 run with the Red Hulk.
That's right.
So you could include them. Again, this is my second least favorite run of Thunderbolts. So,
with Deadpool.
Yeah, so please no. But you could do it. I can't argue that. You could.
It does make me wonder what they're gonna do with them now that the rights are back to Marvel. It'll be interesting.
That's a discussion for another day, though.
Yes, it is.
I feel like we're pretty wrapped up on episode 4. Because at this point we're just speculating on other things.
Yes, it's dark and hell is hot. It's an ode to my man DMX.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Rest in power.
Ooh.
Yeah, I wanted to fit that in there somewhere.
That's perfectly all right.
Yes, I want to do that now.
Well, on that note, I guess we're done. So thank you everybody for joining us for this episode of whatever this is.
I reckon so. I was just trying to think of if there's anything else, but I
think we hit
the
big stuff.
Basically covered everything.
We're at an hour 19.
Okay.
So
yeah, I guess that's pretty much it.
We're about at an episode length.
If we didn't cover anything else, then we'll probably know next episode.
Yeah, we'll bring it up next episode.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially an hour plus long.
Yeah, hour plus long. Hopefully that'll be true.
God.
Oh, I'll also watch it more than once.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll probably have to. So, I mean, hell, I watched this one again on the way here. So, just to, feed my mind with, all the knowledge of the episode.
This one I only watched once. Once I got home, I had to do a bunch of cleaning before you came over to record. So, this was a one watch for me, but this one hit in a way.
One hit very much so. Like we talked about before, the pacing. Like I told you earlier, the runtime of this episode and episode 3 was the exact same runtime, but this one was such a better pacing, that we were so much into it. So, really enjoyed this episode. Very good. More serious tone. It reminded me of kind of the tone of the Winter Soldier, a pretty decent amount of times, because Winter Soldier, in my opinion, was one of the more serious MCU movies. So, in a way, I kind of felt that, especially with the beginning parts. But I enjoyed this episode. It was definitely, one of my favorite ones.
Very nice.
Yes.
Well, okay, on that, we will actually wrap up. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Hope this was an interesting episode for you guys, for you folks out there. Mm-hmm. Let us know what you think in the comments. Again, my theory was wrong, but God, this episode was
it's good stuff, man.
This was a gut punch.
Yes, it was. 2 more to go. Let's see if the next 2 are gut punches as well.
2 more to go, and we will see you in a week. Thank you very much. Bye.
Push that like button.
Oh, sure.
Subscribe. Till next time.
Ethan, you got the YouTube down.
I watch so many YouTube videos, bro. Every time. Like and subscribe. Boom.
Boom. We're out.